One of the oldest debates in the world is whether things like low intelligence, criminality, or bad behavior are mainly caused by genetics, or whether they're mostly shaped by socioeconomic conditions and environment. That debate has been going on forever. And a lot of people frame it through the opposition between inherited traits and acquired traits. What makes the subject so explosive is that in countries like the United States, researchers have had access to much larger data sets, including ethnic categories and population-level comparisons that are often impossible or taboo elsewhere. So there are a lot of statistics, a lot of numbers, and millions of cases to analyze. Some researchers argue that you consistently see average IQ gaps between large population groups, for example between Africans and Europeans, or between Europeans and Japanese population. Then there are intermediate cases, mixed populations, regional differences, and all the obvious complications that make broad categories very crude. Even saying Africa as if it were one uniform thing is already an oversimplification. So yes, it's an extremely sensitive subject. What I find interesting is this. When black children are adopted into highly educated upper-middle-class white families, with strong cultural and socioeconomic support, their measured outcomes rise significantly. But even then, according to some of the studies people cite, average gaps may remain relative to white children raised in the same kind of highly supportive environment. Now obviously, once you start talking about this, people immediately get emotionally charged. But numbers are numbers. I didn't invent the data and I don't control reality. That doesn't mean anyone should reduce themselves to biology, or identify entirely with their shell, their body, their category. That's not the point either. A human being is more than that. So the right attitude, in my view, is to stay calm, breathe, and be able to look at difficult questions without hysteria.